Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. I'm Kristi and this morning we're visiting with Paul Norrod. He's an agriculture extension specialist for the University of Kentucky. Good morning, Paul.
Hi, Kristi. How are you today?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Thank you for being with us
Yeah,
today.
thank you for having me.
Now, Paul, today we are going to talk about stress, and that is something that many of us know all too well.
Yeah, stress is a part of life, and it affects us in different ways. There are many different types of stress, Kristi. We can encounter physical stress, so that may just be from loss of sleep and not sleeping well at night. That may just be from having a hip hurt or a backache from not sleeping well or working too hard out on the farm, working too hard at the gym, and that causes stress. And we can also have another type of stress just from mental exertion or mental work, and so that may be just stress from looking at the bills and trying to figure out a budget. It may be stress from work or trying to figure out, I have to plant this day, I've got to get my kids to the school, I've got to pick them up at football practice or basketball practice. All of those things, all of those life situations can be stressful. And some of those can be negative stressors. We can also have positive stressors. Birth of a child, birth of a grandchild, buying a new house, getting a new car. Those are good things. Those are life events that still induce stress, that still affect us, but they're positive. They're things we look forward to, right? But regardless of the type of stressor, Kristi, it still impacts our brain in the same way. And if we have too much stress and don't handle our stress, we feel it in our brain. And so the body releases chemicals to cope with stress. We're meant to survive. And that's a good thing. We want to survive. We want to be able to keep going through life, right? But when we get under too much stress, we release a chemical called cortisol. And so that just floods the brain. And so a lot of people, when they talk about feeling stressed or they may feel stressed out, is the word that I'm just stressed out today. That's what we hear a lot, right? They'll talk about not being able to sleep well. They can't focus. Or we may avoid certain activities, may just let that bill sit on the table too long, or we may not feel like getting out and being around our children or conducting daily activities. And that's because that chemical cortisol is designed to help us survive is just flooding the front part of the brain that it actually begins to inhibit our ability to function, our ability to think.
And I think we live in a society that is so fast-paced, and so it's very easy for us to not deal with this stress in the way that our body needs to.
Absolutely, and there's so many uncontrollable factors in our life, right? We hear all the different world events going on. We have access to information that we don't normally have access to. And we just don't think about stress. It's just not on our mind, so to speak. It's something that we need to deal with. But if we don't deal with our stress, then it can have some really serious consequences for our life.
Paul, what are some of the ways that we can handle our stress in a healthy way?
Yeah, so some good ways and very simple ways, especially in just our daily life, is just to talk with your spouse or significant other or best friend and just acknowledge that you're feeling stressed. When we connect with people around us, that actually tells the brain that I'm safe, that I'm okay. We can take a walk, take a few deep breaths throughout the day. If you have a project you're working on at work and you're just feeling especially anxious, just take a big sigh. That just is a sense of relief, right? There are other ways too. You may go to your favorite fishing hole. Regardless, those activities help bring our stress levels down.
So many great points, Paul. Now, if someone is watching and they'd like to get more information on stress, where can they get that?
Yeah, so they can reach out to me at the UK Extension office, and my email is paul.norrod@uky.edu. We're also providing some information to the extension agents here in Warren County and in Logan County, and so they'll be able to provide you some information about stress and how to handle stress.
All right. Thank you so much for being with us today, Paul. If you are watching and would like more information on stress, be sure to contact your local extension office. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.